Today's video is sponsored by Drop and their Sennheiser PC37X headset. You can learn how to get $30 off by following the link in the description and at the end of the video. Hey everyone, welcome to today's video where I wanted to talk about exotic weapons and catalysts. This video is going to be kind of a 2-for-1. I'll be going over some really great exotic weapons and catalysts that you should definitely hunt down immediately if you're a new player or a returning player who's just jumping back into Destiny 2. And through that, it's also going to highlight what exotics and catalysts are going to be outstanding in Shadowkeep content. There's a lot of changes happening in a few days, so hopefully this gets you guys ready for the new season. If you're new to the game and don't know much about these catalysts or exotics, let me quickly explain. Once you acquire an exotic weapon, based on this list, you can determine whether or not its catalyst is currently available in the game. A lot of exotic weapons have a slot on them that's meant for a catalyst, and what they do is add extra perks or bonuses to buff the weapon's performance. Some weapons get additional stability and range, some give the weapon new traits, and others further enhance its existing perks. Now, not all catalysts are created equal. Some are way stronger than others, and some are much more difficult to obtain. As of September 27th, there is only one catalyst in the entire game that you cannot get with Destiny 2 New Light, and that's IZANAGI'S Burden. I'll be talking about this one later in the video, but it and its catalyst are seriously a must-have. If you own the Forsaken and Annual Pass bundle, you definitely need to grind for that. The number of catalysts not free to everyone will likely increase by the end of the year, since there are 13 new catalysts for Year 2 Forsaken weapons currently in the database but unavailable in-game. When they arrive though, I'll be sure to cover them. So let's go over the must-have exotics and their catalyst that will dominate in the new season. Thanks to my subs for helping me put this list together. First up is the catalyst for the exotic rocket launcher WARDCLIFF COIL, which fires a volley of rockets upon pulling the trigger. WARDCLIFF is a decent option for PvE and can hit hard and send targets flying, but where it really shines is in PvP. The catalyst adds the perk Pinpoint Guidance module, which improves the tracking on the WARDCLIFF projectiles. With this catalyst, it's actually rare not to get 2 to 3 kills, if not more, when you're staring down a large group of enemy players. It's near impossible to dodge, and with the enhanced tracking, it allows those rockets to track more aggressively and makes the gun that much more satisfying to use. Next up is PROSPECTOR, the exotic grenade launcher. PROSPECTOR's exotic perk is Excavation, and the main draw of it is it allows grenades to stick to surfaces and set targets on fire. It's already one of the most powerful weapons at the moment, and going into Shadowkeep, it's likely PROSPECTOR will overtake the current kings of DPS, which are things like Swarm of the Raven or Outrageous Fortune, both legendary grenade launchers. And one of the reasons PROSPECTOR is going to be so strong is because of a few things. One, its burn damage and its ammo. And the gun is further improved by its catalyst, which increases blast radius and gives you deeper pockets, which means the gun gets increased ammo reserves. The more ammo you can hold, the more damage you can do. It's simple as that. Being able to hold 8 in the mag and shoot at 165 rounds per minute, PROSPECTOR is going to allow you to make the most of not having that auto reload ability, and this will easily be a go-to top tier option in Shadowkeep and Season 8. Not to mention Tractor Cannon no longer favors void damage, so again that's another benefit to using this beast of a gun. Huckleberry is up next. As I brought up before, this is one of my favorite exotics in the game, and what's already a great gun is actually going to be kind of insane in Shadowkeep and Season 8, and I'll talk about that in a moment. Huckleberry's perk, which is Ride the Bull, increases rate of fire and recoil while you're holding down the trigger, and kills with this weapon reload a portion of the magazine. It also comes with the perk Rampage. Right now, it's in a decent spot, and it's pretty great for ad clearing, but here's what's going to make it amazing in Season 8. First of all, it's getting a 10% damage buff. Next, SMGs as a whole are getting a 22.5% damage buff to body shots. Huckleberry's Rampage is not being affected by the nerf to that perk, which means it's going to be one of the strongest versions of Rampage that will exist in the game. And the best part of it all is the gun's catalyst, which in my opinion is basically necessary. It grants you the perk Bull Rider. Before the catalyst, kills would only reload about half the magazine, but with it completed, kills reload the entire magazine. This means Huckleberry is unaffected by the auto reload nerf, So yeah, it's safe to say this is going to be pretty nutty. Whisper of the Worm is another must-have exotic with a must-have catalyst. It's an exotic sniper rifle found from the Whisper of the Worm secret mission, and its exotic perk, White Nail, refills your magazine from reserves when landing 3 precision hits within a short time, and allows the weapon to have a higher base precision damage. Whisper was overshadowed by things like grenade launchers in Season 7, but its comeback in Season 8 will not go unnoticed. Thanks to its ability to have a constant stream of ammo, its DPS will be off the charts in Shadowkeep. It will undoubtedly be the king again, and a large part of this is thanks to its catalyst, which increases reload speed, but more importantly, grants the perk Whispered Breathing. The perk states that aiming the weapon for a brief period of time without firing grants bonus range and bonus precision damage while it remains zoomed in. This is an integral part of the gun, and a huge damage increase similar to IZANAGI'S Burden, and it's going to wreak havoc in PvE, especially if things get more challenging, which it's seeming like they will. Bad Juju is another must-have exotic. This is an exotic pulse with a perk called String of Curses. String of Curses states that kills refill the magazine, increase damage for a short duration, and grant super energy based on the strength of the String of Curses perk. It also fires full auto. Like Huckleberry, the kills that refill the magazine part is going to be amazing in Season 8, but even better is the part where you get super energy. Because orbs of light from all sources are seeing their effectiveness reduced, this is going to make Bad Juju very, very valuable for regaining your super, similar to how it was in Destiny 1, since back then we didn't have many super regen exotics, and we certainly didn't have masterworked weapons. It's already a decent gun, but in Season 8, it's going to be spending more time in the spotlight as legendary primaries are being knocked down a peg. But what really gives it a nice edge is the catalyst. The catalyst adds the perk Unending Curse, which increases the duration of String of Curses. This allows you to keep the perk active for longer, meaning you have more time to get kills and increase the perk's strength, which equals more super energy and a longer lasting damage buff. With the catalyst, it's very likely Bad Juju will be a top tier primary in just a few days. RISKRUNNER is also another awesome weapon, this one being another exotic SMG. RISKRUNNER is just an overall fantastic gun for a variety of situations, and its exotic perk Arc Conductor says when taking arc damage, this weapon becomes more powerful and resists incoming arc damage. On top of that, kills with RISKRUNNER extend the time in this overcharged state. It also has the perk Superconductor, where when Arc Conductor is active, shots fired have a chance to become chain lightning and return ammo to the magazine. This is a go-to weapon when you're fighting fallen enemies, or really any enemies that deal arc damage for that matter, even in PvP. The damage resistance is very strong, and the overcharged state is even stronger. Not to mention you're getting ammo back, meaning you can fire for much longer. The biggest downside to this weapon though, and most SMGs for that matter, is their range, which is why I think the Catalyst is such a great addition to RISKRUNNER, because it adds plus 30 range. It's nothing fancy or over the top, but it makes the gun perform and feel a whole lot better wherever you're using it. Polaris Lance, the exotic scout rifle, is another fantastic addition to your loadout. Its exotic perk, the Perfect Fifth, says that precision hits return ammo to the mag, and landing 4 precision hits loads a delayed solar explosive round for your next shot. With scouts getting a buff and Polaris Lance already being one of the better scout rifles in the game, this is going to be huge in Season 8. Not only can it put up extremely reliable damage for a primary weapon, but its catalyst adds the perk Dragonfly, which creates an elemental explosion for every single precision kill, which makes it oh so satisfying to use. Its catalyst then has really great synergy with its exotic perk, because the Perfect Fifth is already encouraging you to get precision hits, so not only are you going to be already going for those, but now you're getting Dragonfly on each precision kill, but you're also getting that giant explosion after 4 precision hits. Basically, if you love scouts and you want something that's an all-around solid weapon for clearing enemies, doing damage to bosses, and for taking out opponents in the Crucible, you'll definitely need this and its catalyst. Tractor Cannon is an amazing exotic shotgun that will remain popular in Season 8. Its perk Repulsor Force allows you to suppress enemies so that they can't use their abilities. This includes the ability to shut down supers in PvP, and it also applies a debuff to enemies so that they take increased damage by 30%. With all debuffs in the game being equal now at 30%, Tractor Cannon absolutely has an advantage over all of them because its debuff is tied to ammo. And its ammo capacity is greatly improved with its Catalyst, which grants deeper pockets and a plus 60 to its magazine size. The more shots you can hold, the more enemies you can debuff, or the longer you can debuff a boss during a damage phase. While you can accomplish the same with a Tether, Hammer Strike, or Shattering Strike, Tractor Cannon allows for multiple uses on multiple enemies and an increased mobility thanks to its perk scientific method. Definitely a catalyst, and of course a gun, worth grinding out. Next is Outbreak Perfected. The exotic pulse originally from the Wrath of the Machine raid quest in Destiny 1. Now part of the 0-hour secret mission, the gun is super reliable and enjoyable to use for both DPS and ad clearing, and it's only going to get better in Season 8. Its perk, The Corruption Spreads, states that this weapon creates Siva nanite swarms on rapid hits and precision kills, and its follow-up perk, Parasitism, says that this weapon does more damage to enemies based on the number of Siva nanites attached to them. You get a kill, it spawns a bunch of little Siva nanite seekers that attack enemies, and then the more of those nanites that are on an enemy, the more damage they take. It's awesome. And the Catalyst not only increases the damage that the nanites do, but it says that enemies that die with nanites attached to them will spawn even more nanites. The nanites are strong both for regular enemies but also for bosses, as the more outbreaks you have, the more damage it's gonna do. It's not the best weapon for DPS because, well, it's a primary, but it's easily at the top of the primary charts when 6 people are using it. The Catalyst to me though is totally worthwhile, and it takes the special part of the gun and just gives me more of it. The last one I would say is a must-have is of course IZANAGI'S Burden, which will be just incredible in Shadowkeep. Forged from the Mysterious Box questline, this exotic sniper has a perk called Honed Edge, where holding reload consumes the magazine and loads a single round with additional range and damage. This is great for taking out beefy elite enemies, ultras, or bosses, but also good for one-shot body-shotting enemies in PvP or Gambit, even in their super, with the Honed Edge perk active. It is so ridiculously strong, and it even gets stronger when you add the perk Peerless Edge from the Catalyst. What this does is give a 20% damage boost to each Honed Edge shot. With the ability to keep reloading Honed Edge over and over by holding reload after you've fired, the rate at which you'll be able to keep pumping damage out into a target will be far and above any other special weapon in the game. Without auto-reloading, IZANAGI'S Burden will even be able to compete and overtake most power weapons. That's how strong it is. And now that Lunafaction Boots no longer cancels the Honed Edge perk, IZANAGI'S true power is about to be unleashed. For honorable mentions, weapons, and catalysts that will also be worth keeping an eye on in Season 8 are Rat King and its Catalyst, which gives a plus 20 to aim assist, plus 20 to recoil direction, and grants the perk Infestation, which refreshes health after reloading immediately after a kill. You'll also be invisible thanks to Rat King's intrinsic perk Vermin. Legend of ACRIUS is another one to go after. This catalyst increases reload speed and ammo reserves. The gun already hits like a truck, and having that extra ammo is really nice, but it's one of the more difficult catalysts to complete, with the quest being tied to the Prestige Leviathan raid. Then we have the catalyst for the gun Crimson, which gives a plus 20 range to a gun that is likely going to destroy in Shadowkeep, especially in PvP. And finally, Merciless's catalyst, which grants plus 40 to range and plus 40 to stability to an already pretty decent fusion rifle, one that I can't help but imagine will get a lot more love with legendary fusions such as Loaded Question no longer being able to abuse their damage perks. That about sums up the exotics and catalyst you should grind for right away if you're playing Destiny 2 New Light, and those are also the ones you should keep an eye on in Season 8. You're definitely going to be seeing a lot of these find a place in the new meta. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for listening. This video was sponsored by Drop, formerly Mass Drop, and the Sennheiser PC37X. Drop was super cool and sent me this headset, and now that I've got to use it for quite a while, there's some really great features I wanted to highlight. One of the things I like most about this headset is its open back design. And if you aren't familiar with open back headphones, they allow air to pass through the ear cups directly to the speaker, which is a huge improvement over something like closed back headphones, where you tend to get this pressure building up and it can really hurt the sound quality and cause echoing. But with open backs like the PC37X, it really eliminates this to give you a much more clear and natural sound, which is extremely important when playing something like the new Destiny raid, when communication and in-game sounds are vital to your performance. The headset also has an adjustable wheel that allows you to raise and lower the volume in an easy to adjust location, and you can also lower the mic arm to toggle mute, which is really convenient. I love that there's not a ton of buttons, keeping things simple, which I like, and the headset is also pretty comfortable because of this padding which reduces sweating and makes wearing them for long hours very easy. So if you're looking to upgrade or just want to check out the headset, you can visit the link in the description for $30 off. That's dro.ps/ninjapups-PC37X-2. Again, that's $30 off this time for the mass drop cross Sennheiser PC37X through the link in the description. Thank you very much, Drop, for the sponsorship and for the awesome addition to my Sennheiser collection.